Good morning, everyone. This morning we are going to shed some light on Thomas Macaulay's educational ideas. In 1935, when he came to India to commence English education in India on behalf of Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth sent him. She sent him to India to create an army of English-speaking Indians, so that they can actually find it a little bit easier, comfortable to govern India properly in collaboration and in commensuration with Indian people. Dr. Macaulay, Thomas Macaulay came to India in 1935, and when he was asked what difference that in English education is going to make, and he gave these 5 points. He has given lots of points, but I have actually chosen the best 5 points for the video, and there are about 10 or 12 points that I have actually chosen for Facebook too. So point number 1 is learning, which has power and the potential to change our destiny. Learning means what? Learning must change our destiny. Learning must not keep us the same way ignorant we are, as we are seeing in Indian education system today. A student enrolls in the college, and when he actually exits from the college 3 years later or 5 years later or 7 years later, he is the same. His IQ remains the same. As a matter of fact, I have noticed that some students' IQ falls. When they actually enroll in the college after 12, their IQ is a little bit higher. But when they exit from the college after 5 years, their IQ actually dips. No, that is not the purpose of education at all. Now, if you don't know the purpose of anything, how can you distinguish? You cannot distinguish. Now, you can distinguish after reading and listening this video that education means the kind of education which should actually change our destiny from bad to better, or worse to better, or worst to the best. Destiny, our future, our fortune, our thinking, every single thing must change. We should become a better human being. Our future should be better, rosier, peachier, and more comfortable. Point number 2 is learning must change our morale, our opinion, our thought, our insight. Every single thing that we believe, as an ignorant person who believes every single thing in ignorance. Ignorant person believes in ignorance. But when you actually get the education, Thomas Macaulay's type of education, or the characteristics of Thomas Macaulay's education, then you are never going to think like the ignorant person. That is the most important thing that learning can do. It changes us from ignorant to scholarly, to educated person. We're going to think about every single thing in a different prism. Our thinking will change, our insight will change, our opinion will change, our observation will change, our beliefs and our conviction. Every single thing is going to change. That is the impact of learning. It can make us better thinker, better human, better person with better opinion, better person with better insight, and better person in every single way. Our better linguistic, better argument, better way of living, better treatment, better conducting of our behavior, better of every single thing. Point number 3. It must open the doors of our innate understanding. Innate understanding, congenital understanding that we have. Educated person understands every single thing better than illiterate people. Uneducated or ill-educated or illiterate person cannot understand so many things that educated person can understand. So that is our innate ability, capability, and viability. Learning actually makes our innate ability sharpen, better. We can understand every single issue about ourselves, about our family, about our human race, about society, about the nation, about the economy. All kinds of issues we can understand better innately. And that is the quality of education that actually sharpen our innate understanding about every single thing surrounding us. Point number 4. It must make us better human being. An illiterate person or ill-educated person is just a human. But we cannot say that he is a better human or he understands what is the role of human or understand the obligation of human. He is just Homo sapien. He is Homo erectile, just a Homo sapien. Or we can say Homo habilis, just a person who is working with his hands and earns money and live from hand to mouth. He is not veritable human being. And to become veritable human being, you have to have the gift of education, or not any kind of roly-poly education that we have been imparted in our contemporary colleges and universities, but the kind of education that Dr. Thomas Macaulay has been emphasizing. That kind of education can make us human being from Homo sapien, or human being from Homo erectile. No. Our quality must change, our thinking must change, our insight must change, our understanding must change, our opinion must change. And all those things are going to change thanks to the kind of quality education, qualitative education, not only quantitative education. You have gone to college for 5 years, but what have you learned? Nothing. A couple of days ago, I asked my students, what was the chapter number 5 in your last year's first SAM? And he did not even remember that. When somebody told him that was chapter number 5, I said, okay, you tell me what is in the chapter number 5. Then he also did not know what is inside the chapter number 5. Now that is not Thomas Macaulay's quality of education. He did not emphasize just to go to college, engage yourself in tiki culture, in hee-haw, in all kinds of fun and fundu, in all kinds of single and mingle, in all kinds of joking and juggling. But Dr. Thomas Macaulay's education means education that can make you better human being. It can change your morale, it can change your moral, it can make you better human being. It can make you able to understand every single thing in a proper context. That is the kind of education Dr. Thomas Macaulay gave us in 1935, but we could not preserve it. We threw it away in our toilet tube. Point number 5. It must dissipate the clouds of collective ignorance. Most important thing is this, that our learning must help us to dissipate all kinds of collective ignorance about every single thing, comprehensive ignorance that we don't know anything about this and we don't know anything about that and we don't know anything about social issue and a personal issue and a psychological issue and a sociological issue. We don't know any kind of political issue or economic issue. We don't know anything about AIDS. We don't know anything about COVID. We don't know anything about virus. We don't know anything about melodies. This is our comprehensive or collective ignorance. We suffer from ignorantia syndrome. And it is the learning that actually dissipate that ignorantia syndrome from us and enlighten us with knowledge, with erudition about every subject, all the collective subject, all the comprehensive subject, that we can understand ourselves, we can understand the life, we can understand the relation, we can understand our parents, our children, our spouses, we can understand our society and our nation. So that is the kind of education that Thomas Macaulay is actually preaching to teach the students of India in 1935, make them better than rest of the Indian students and put them into parity with the English student who can understand every single thing about education, about politics, about governing the nation, about relationship, about every single thing. So that's all the time we have. Thank you very much for listening. God bless everyone on this planet. Amen.